day, everyone. Alan Schimmel, DevOps.com, DevOps TV here at InterConnect 2017. We're out on the exhibit floor, and I'm joined by Brijesh Anghan.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, from Royal Cyber. Royal Cyber is a solutions provider here based in Illinois, is that correct? And Brijesh, we were talking off camera and spoke about a lot of what you guys are talking and providing to your customers. But why don't we start off with a little corporate background, because many in our audience probably aren't familiar.
So Royal Cyber is a solutions and services company. We provide solutions and services for IBM products, Oracle, Microsoft, Amazon, and also open source products. And our lines of businesses include, of course, DevOps, enterprise modernization, BPM, e-commerce, big data, just to name a few. There's others as well. That's what we do. And here at InterConnect, we're focused on solutions for IBM, right? Or solutions for IBM clients. Okay. What are the tools or the middleware or the technology that they're using, and how do we implement DevOps for them given their tech stack?
Sure. So, how big a portion of your practice is DevOps today?
I would say it's about 30 to 40%.
Really?
Yeah.
It's that big. And I happened to notice when I walked by your booth, you had the little Jenkins butler up.
Yes, we do. And he's holding a lot of IBM products. So let me tell you a little bit about that. So the thing about DevOps is that, and you obviously know this, but for the folks who are watching, most people, when they think DevOps, they think software development lifecycle, and that's it.
Right.
But that's actually not true, at least for me. For me, DevOps is all about automation and integration. And there's no reason why those two concepts can't be applied to things outside of software development. So for instance, what we do is we try to apply those concepts to IBM middleware. So think about things like WebSphere, DataPower, MQ, BPM, and things like that. And these are middleware products. These are things that are used for administration, integration, configuration, etc. But there's work that needs to be done to use these products, and all of that work is being done manually. And when you do it manually, it's not scalable. Right. It's not reliable. We have come up with something called DevOps for middleware, where we basically automate these tasks for you. So we have a solution called DevOps for DataPower.
Okay.
Which is
that would be this one, DevOps for DataPower.
Right. This is where we've taken an IBM product and we've automated all the tasks that are done manually for DataPower using an integration solution like UrbanCode or Jenkins.
Really?
And we can do this for the other IBM middleware products as well.
And what is the target audience of people who are perhaps already using a DataPower solution?
Yes. So think about, the average number of DataPower instances somebody uses is 5. If you have to do something as simple as a restart, you have to log in 5 times for 5 different DataPower instances, and you have to do it manually. Now, it's a lot of waste of time. You're not adding any value by doing it manually. Plus, the restart is a simple example. There's other stuff where you have to kind of enter information and stuff like that, and you can fat finger it, and there can be manual errors. With this solution, there's a guarantee that there's no mistakes, there's no human error involved, right? So the solution is reliable, the solution is repeatable, and it's also scalable. I mean, today you're using 5 instances, tomorrow you may be using 15, not a problem. The same solution can work for 5 or 15 DataPower instances at no additional cost.
Fantastic. So in addition to that, Brijesh, you guys do training around UrbanCode?
We do training as well. Yes, so we have these 2 courses available. IBM UrbanCode Deploy Essentials training and also Advanced training. So the Essentials course is basically, UrbanCode 101.
Right.
And this is a course that's offered by IBM as well. And we offer it as well. This is for folks who are just beginning to start using UrbanCode. Then we have an advanced course which focuses more on what extra you can do with UrbanCode. How can you go to town really with UrbanCode? So it focuses a lot on the plugins. There's 187 plugins for UrbanCode, and we focus on the top 4 that we have noticed most of our clients are using, and how to use those plugins. And we have class handouts that can be used even after training, like a cheat sheet which you could go to and say, okay, for my work, what I'm doing today, how do I do it? And we can help you with that.
So is the advanced class also an IBM class, or is that something
The
specific
advanced
to
class
cyber?
is not an IBM class;
For
it's
Royal
Royal
Cyber.
Cyber only, and we offer it. Yeah, we offer it to anybody who's interested.
Sure. And then, of course, you have, it looks like just a sort of a DevOps foundational kind of
Yeah.
class.
So DevOps, yeah. So what we have here is basically, DevOps services, right? So what do we do for, in general, for DevOps? So there's assessment, implementation, training and enablement, support, and managed services. But this flyer talks about the assessment and implementation portion, or in general, it talks about what is DevOps for a software development lifecycle. What are all the stages? What are all the tools that can be used for each stage? And our expertise is in actually coming in and helping you implement those tools for the automation and integration of those phases.
Sure.
That's what we do.
So, but as we spoke off camera, I'm one of the founders of DevOps Institute, and so, we've taught. I think last year we had 3,000 or 4,000 people take a DevOps foundational class
Okay.
around the world, and one of the lessons we've learned is if people don't have that baseline, and it has to be somewhat of a common baseline where
Right.
when we talk about automation or continuous delivery or mutable infrastructure or some, these kinds of concepts, if you don't have that baseline, it's very hard to have an intelligent conversation with you coming in and telling me, how am I going to improve your automation?
Right. Yeah.
Right? If I don't understand, it's almost like
Yeah.
we got to speak the same language
Absolutely. I hear you.
to
I think
communicate.
I think that's a common problem, and it's a problem. It's a challenge that I deal with every day. There's folks that I've spoken to who say they are practicing DevOps, but they're really not.
Amen.
And then there are folks who say, I don't think DevOps is going to work for me, but I know that it does, or it will.
Well, because they don't know what DevOps is.
Because they don't know what
Right.
DevOps is, and they haven't taken the time to actually explore the basic concepts, like you said, the foundation. So, yes, it's a challenge we deal with every
It
day,
is a
and I'm learning. I'm not always successful, but I try to do my
No,
best.
but this is, I was down speaking at an IT conference in Texas a couple weeks ago, and I asked that question: how many of you are doing DevOps? A man raised his hand. I said, "Can you describe the DevOps? What DevOps? How you guys are doing DevOps in your place?" So it's very simple. We've reorganized in a DevOps way. I said, "Oh, how did you do that?" He said, "Well, we've got now an infrastructure team who works on infrastructure. We have an application team that does application, and then we have a post-deployment team that does post-deployment management of this." I said, "Oh, that you are cutting edge, I don't know if I call that DevOps though, but okay, if you want to call it DevOps, I'm not going to argue." But this is why I think it is important when we, like, you take Gene Kim's book, the Phoenix Project, or
Yes.
the DevOps Handbook, or Jez Humble's Continuous Delivery, or some of the more foundational kind of
Yes.
things. We've got to be talking in a common language with
Yeah.
common terms
What
to avoid that.
one of the
confusion.
that reminds me of a book that I read called Leading Transformation.
Yes.
The HP story, right?
Right.
And
That's by Gary Groover.
by Gary Groover.
Yes.
And that book does a really good job of not only speaking the same language, but who do you speak to about DevOps? Because that's also important. And how do you speak to them, right? So you may be talking to a C-level executive about DevOps, and you may be talking to a developer, but you can't use the same. You can't explain it to them the same way.
They talk a different language.
talk
One
different
guy's about
languages.
numbers,
Yes.
right? And yes,
Yes.
so Gary's been a frequent guest on our
Right.
on our site as well as on our podcast and webinars, and yeah, he's very clear about that, and that's kind of what part of your role, I would imagine, as a DevOps whisperer, is knowing who you're talking to
Yeah,
and what their
absolutely.
hot buttons are.
Right.
Maybe a similar language, but there's different hot buttons. There's different things that are important to
Right.
the CTO.
Different focus, different perspective.
Right.
Really, and different ways of looking at things and different priorities. That's what I look at. I'm like, when I start talking to people, I ask them, okay, what do you do, and what are your pain points? I always start with these two things, and then talk about how DevOps can solve them, because DevOps can solve a lot of pain points. It's just a matter of identifying what the pain point is, and how you're looking at it, and what is your perspective on it. Once I understand that, I can definitely come up with a solution, a DevOps solution that can help solve the
them.
problem.
You know, Bridget, one of the things that I interestingly learned in the last couple of months is, look, DevOps helps a lot of things, but it's not a panacea.
Yes,
right?
no, it's not.
There are certain circumstances and situations where perhaps waterfall is best for what you're doing right here.
Yeah, sure.
Right? And okay, go do that. But by and large, as things change and evolve, and we move to cloud native, and we move to more mobile, and some of these new things, I think those situations get a little bit
Right.
less frequent, a little bit more
Right.
rare.
It does. I agree with you. And again, it all depends on. So there's two pieces, right? So there's automation and there's integration. So I'm with you in the sense that when you say that automation may not be the answer for every single problem. You're right. It may not be, and by itself, integration may not be the answer. It also, but if you look at it together, the combination of these two, for any life cycle, there's always a place for one or more of these solutions to solve one or more problems in the life cycle. There may be certain things you can solve with automation. There may be certain things you can solve with integration. There may be certain things you can solve with both, right? So that's what we need to look at, and that's what when we implement DevOps for our clients, and when we start with the assessment, that's what we do. We don't ask how much time are you spending in deploying. We ask, what is your life cycle? What is your approach to releases, to getting your product or your feature out in the market, and then we work, and then we dive deeper and we come up with a
Got
solution.
it. One question I didn't ask Rajit is, so you guys are based in Illinois, right?
Yes.
Naperville, near Chicago. Where do your clients? Are you worldwide?
So we have a
localized?
presence in 8 countries. It's U.S., U.K., Mexico, Canada, Middle East, and Australia.
Okay.
And we also have development centers in India. Our clients are also located in these countries, so they're all over the place.
Global footprint.
Yes.
Excellent. So that's Royal Cyber. Brijesh, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Love to hear more.
Yeah.
This is Alan Schimmel, DevOps TV at IBM InterConnect 2017.